Hello everyone, my name is Andy, and this is episode 2 of Building the Boss Board. For those of you that didn't watch the first episode or need to catch up, what I'm doing is building a boss-only pedal board with a variety of different boss effects that I'm finding primarily on the used market, uh, hopefully for cheap. The idea is for it to be kind of an affordable board as much as it can be with a vast variety of different effects. So what we have here, I'm going to call this the overdriven episode or the distortion episode. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But obviously what you have in front of you here is a suite of distortion or overdrive pedals, as you can see on the end there. And the story on these, in episode 1 you did see the DS1. That's the first boss pedal I ever picked up, which really wasn't that long ago, probably within the last few months. And that's the DS1 distortion. Very iconic. You think Kurt Cobain, you think grunge, you think a lot of varieties of rock, things like that. What you see here in the middle is the Mega Distortion, the MD2. This one actually will also be featured in episode 3. It came with some pedals that I purchased in a different cluster, but I just wanted to include it because this is all the drive pedals I have at this time. The Super Overdrive SD1, if you can see it, it's kind of washed out there. The Metal Zone MT2, there we are, and the Metal Core, the ML2. All three of these were picked up on another route. So in episode 3 I'll talk about a drive that I took to get this other cluster of pedals, but for this one I drove to 2 places in Minneapolis to pick up the Super Overdrive with the box, the Metal Core with the box, and then I drove up to Isanti, however you say it, Minnesota, to grab the MT2 Metal Zone. And it was definitely worth the round trip. I did it all in one night. It was probably about 100, I think it was 137 miles is what Google Maps mapped it at. But hey, the pedals were a reasonable price. Saves me on shipping, gave me something to do for the evening. I had a good time, listened to some tunes, etc., etc. But it was from 3 different sellers, so it's really cool that they all had the box too, which is kind of fun. It's a nice little bonus. So the Super Overdrive was picked up first. That was $30. The Metal Core was picked up second. That was $40. And the Metal Zone was picked up in Isanti. That was also only $30. So pretty reasonable prices on those. That's pretty exciting. The DS1 I paid, I believe it was $25 for, if I hadn't said that before. And the Mega Distortion, which again is featured in a later episode, or touched on in a later episode. We'll try to do more feature here. That I believe amounted to $50. So I'm gonna get these boxes out of the way. I don't believe there's anything. Oh, cool. We got manuals in the Metal Core anyway. I think the other 2 are empty, but as far as I know, all 5 of these are modern, or at the very least, the made in Taiwan stuff, which, nothing wrong with that. Oh, we got at least... Oh, hey, nice. Do have a manual in the SD1. Controls on each are fairly similar, but as you go from right to left, they do get a little more in depth. We have level, tone, and drive on the SD1. We have tone level. I don't know why those are swapped. That irks me a lot. And distortion. So the distortion and drive are in the same spots on the right there. It gets a little more in depth with the Mega Distortion. Level on the left, we've got tone and bottom, so kind of a high and low double stack knob there for frequencies, which is pretty cool. Distortion and gain boost. So I guess I would amount it to 2 levels of distortion. You can only turn it on and off, so these are just completely manual, 2 different kind of flavors. We will get to those. The Metal Zone, what I've been reading and watching online is that this seems to be a very kind of infamous pedal. I couldn't speak to the Wazacraft version if it's any better or whatever, but this one is kind of a dark horse. It seems to get kind of a bad rap, which is too bad. I haven't experimented with it too much so far. At a glance, with everything at noon anyway, other than the level, it does sound kind of weird. But on this one, you've also got a high and low double knob here, as well as 2 different mid frequencies. So realistically, and then distortion on the right there. So realistically, that should be in theory, the most versatile pedal that you see here in the sense of it having the most knobs. The most knobs doesn't always mean the most versatile, but again, in theory. Now, I recently saw something, I think it was within this last year, Ola England did a video on it. He put this, instead of putting it in the front of the amp, like a lot of folks will do with their drive pedals, he actually put it in the effects loop of one of his amps, and he was, I don't know if blown away is the word, but he thought it sounded absolutely killer. So obviously the quality of what you're going to get here is not quite the same, but the idea with these videos is to, hey, do a little learning. I'm doing plenty of learning with all the stuff that I've been obtaining and looking at and all that good stuff. So if something at a glance that, kind of sticks out at you, whichever pedal it is, take a look at other videos. Find out what works for you, because though this is a Boss Focus series, it's definitely a journey to finding, my sound or one of my sounds, things of that nature. So anyway, I'm going to pause really quick. I'm going to set up a small loop. So the chain right now, we do have a TC Electronic Ditto on the floor for looping into the Super Overdrive, into these, and then on the floor over to my right to mute the signal, I do have a Boss TU3 chromatic tuner that you saw in the first episode with the DS1. So I am going to pause the video here. I'm going to set up a loop real quick, and we will be back in a moment. And I'll put so again, the loop is in the front, and then we'll stick some overdrive on it. We're just going to go one at a time, twist knobs, see what it sounds like, and go from there. Okay. So that's our clean tone. Turn that down a second. So we've got a Les Paul Studio from like 2005 going into the pedals you see, the looper, the tuner, into a PRS MT15 with a vintage 30 cap. So that's what you're hearing. So I'm going to turn this up, we're going to turn some pedals on, we're going to twist some knobs. Starting from right to left. Turning the drive down, not much different than the clean sound. Tone's at about 1 o'clock. I think it sounds pretty good. Moving on to the DS1. It's often been said that anything past noon on the DS1 is unusable. It gets a little harsh, but I don't know, to each their own. Same kind of thing, you could do just a super light boost if you turn the distortion all the way down. I'm sure it's a similar thing for all these pedals, but we'll find out. Alright, I didn't mind that. Next, the Mega Distortion. Okay, on to the infamous MT2. Oh wow, that can go pretty clean too. I don't know. I'm certainly not an expert of dialing stuff in, but that was kind of cool. Let's move on to the metalcore. So we do have low and high here, but no mids. So let's see what we can make of it. Honestly, not bad at all noon, or pretty much all noon. Later crunch there. Interesting. I'm gonna go back to this one for a second. I like that low end. I wanted to see how small we could make this one, or light we could make this one. But yeah, on both of these, I really like, I mean, we got lows over here too, but the way that these kind of present the lows, I don't know how well it comes through the microphone, but, oh, excuse me. Let's be stupid and turn all of them on. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions or comments, I'll see what I can answer. I would love it if you'd comment, subscribe, all that good, wonderful stuff. Tell me which ones you like. Tell me which ones you've used on your board for years. Tell me which ones that you think are misunderstood. I think that there's a place for all of these somewhere. And again, I'm still learning. Maybe this all sounded like ass through what I've got going on. Maybe it sounded okay. I actually am really into the Super Overdrive. I think that's great. There's a pretty good chunk of drive that you can get out of that still. It's not bonkers, it's not metal, but I like that. And that ideally would probably, I'm sure that's kind of your Ibanez clone, TS9, or at least a Tube Screamer clone kind of thing. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I think they're all pretty sweet. Let me know which ones you want to see on the board. I think the SD1 is going to make it on the board. As far as these go, I don't know. The DS1's cool. I think it's fine. I think it's solid. Do I think that it's completely unusable up here? I don't know. I'm sure if you drop level and distortion a little bit, you know, some of the brighter tones or fizzier tones might be alright. But about here, I don't know. I don't mind about there. Level is whatever, but definitely on the second half of distortion there, and definitely lower tone. The Mega Distortion kind of feels... I don't know if the distortion and gain boost are all necessary. Overall, I think it sounds pretty cool. My favorite thing about it by far is the high and low, or rather the tone and low end on it. The Metal Zone definitely is going to need, you know, I think a deeper look. Not necessarily its own video. There's plenty of stuff out there for you guys to explore, so check it out. But, you know, this seems to, again, be kind of the dark horse, the misunderstood one. Things like that, but I don't know. I still think that it seems pretty versatile. You can still get that distortion pretty low, which is pretty impressive. I don't know. But anyway, leave your thoughts down below. I love to know what you guys know that I don't know, that I didn't cover. Again, no real vintage circuits in this one. These are, I believe, all made in Taiwan, which, hey, it's still fine. They've been doing it for years now, and they still make some pretty amazing stuff, right? It's Boss. It's freaking iconic. Yep, Taiwan, Taiwan, Taiwan. Taiwan. And, whoops, getting a little screwed up here. Taiwan. So anyway, sorry, I'll stop repeating myself. Leave your comments down below, like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. I've got some really, really cool stuff coming. A couple of vintage circuits, things like that. Alright, I'm going to shut up now. My name is Andy, and you guys have a fabulous evening. Bye-bye.